Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I've got with me Jason, Elijah, and Max, and we are watching episode 9 of Andor, season 2, and oh my god, that Gorman massacre was kind of brutal. It was
Kinda.
kinda,
Things
Things are heating
yeah.
up. Kinda.
Yeah,
That was going
absolutely.
on for a long time. This is Disney.
Yeah,
This is Disney. This is a Disney show now. Like, come on.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
pretty
I know, go
crazy.
figure, huh? Go figure. We got our K2SO droids in the fight.
And K2SO himself.
And K2SO himself. We obviously have seen the first opening moments. I'm curious to know why Andor snatched him off the street. I'm going to assume because he would have information and data stored inside of him about what was going on. It would be also evidence to use.
I think the reason is because he was in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
well,
need
that
I need a
too.
buddy.
Well, the way I'm seeing it is
Yeah.
that he sees how brutal they could be and how useful
Sure.
that could be on
Yeah.
their side, you know?
Okay,
It's like,
there's a
oh man, these
possibility.
guys are OP. We
He
gotta
also
get
might
them
have-
for our own, you know?
Right, but he also might have direct data as to what the Empire
That's
was
true,
doing.
yeah.
There's a possibility. So, I mean, I'm going to assume that could be a reason why. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, they'll tell us in this episode because episode 9 is about to start. Let's do
think
this
they're going
on
to.
3, 2, and 1.
My mother's Gormon.
Yeah, we haven't seen Luthen in a while.
Bounced around
Yeah.
until she passed away.
He's,
And then
yeah, he hasn't been in much this season.
Well, he's alienated himself.
I know, but in a two-season show, I kind of wish we saw more of him.
The Imperial murder of Gormon has begun.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Hundreds of murdered Gormon lay dead
I
in
really
bottle
thought that
blankets.
fight would have gone longer for him.
Dang,
Here we go, guys.
He was pretty shook.
Yeah.
Everyone was, Those stunts were cool. Like when people were getting shot, they were getting yanked. Like
Oh, yeah.
we're getting
They were getting-
thrown.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's pretty
yeah.
cool. Like to see how like strong
Yeah.
those lasers were instead of
Yeah.
just falling over and getting like thrown across.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I am kind of glad that the show answered the question 100 man versus one security droid.
Sure.
I just kind of wish we saw the one security droid versus 100 gorillas.
Yeah. They're pretty powerful, yeah. Oh, that's why they only
Yeah.
needed 6 of them there. I
Yeah.
still thought they would have sent them out sooner.
Yeah, they're not expendable.
Yeah, fair enough. Nice. Senate building. Wow. Nice shot. Bail Organa.
What's going on?
Oh.
This is the Senate.
We watched
General. I have
the
every
Senate
Take-
getting dissolved.
But no one
Oh.
help me! Gorman is being slaughtered! It's my people today and yours tomorrow! Remember this day!
They showed him when he says yours tomorrow. They
Yeah.
show Bill.
I need to make a speech tomorrow.
they'll never let you take the floor.
I've seen you work miracles before.
They really need to go to Alderaan where it's
You're
safe.
telling me to be silent?
Yep.
Everything's bugged.
Yep. Oh, this is gonna create a... Yep.
One's down.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Is that a building in France? This feels like it's a real building somewhere.
Oh shit.
Ah, here we go.
He's not even in his wig.
How did you know I would be here?
I was just kidding.
Erskine Samaj works for me.
All this time.
Dang.
He's protected you in ways you'll never know. Bail Organa's team is corrupted.
What?
Which team is that? Do you remember Take
Oh.
Over?
Is
He's
that...
asking about Tay.
Oh, yeah.
Childhood friend.
I'm sending someone I trust, someone I
Yeah,
know
Andor.
I can
Andor.
trust.
Yeah.
You'll ask if he's alone. He will say, I
Ooh,
have
Andor
friends
meets Moth.
everywhere.
Mon
Yeah.
Mothma.
Oh, Erskine's ultimately the one who rescues her.
Eventually it'll hang us both, won't they? We set that course the first time we met. No truth.
Luthen's gonna make himself the
He's
distraction.
gonna sacrifice himself.
Yeah, he always said it's
So
about
you can
sacrifice
do.
and knowing when to.
Who that?
Yeah, who is that?
Bale's team?
It's the other, yeah, it's possibly the other team. Obviously, Bale picks some wrong people.
Yeah, these guys. Sketchy.
Yeah.
They look like they could fight.
My stream is glitching so much, I'm just gonna have to stop it because I
Alright.
feel like it's not gonna work, and I'll just have to catch up with you guys later.
Oh, it sucks. I'm sorry, dude.
Unfortunately, I know I'm gonna have to watch it tomorrow morning or something.
I've just been told the morning agenda is set. The chair has no intention of letting any of them take the floor.
Mothma's gonna find a way.
You need to leave the moment you're done.
Don't trust this team. It's compromised.
Yeah.
Do what they tell you. Next year, in Yavin.
I'll see you
a
in.
year from now. Yep.
Take care.
See you in Rogue One.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tear the shit out of this place.
Oh. Hey, swearing in Star Wars, no. That's not okay.
That's their revenge for not being able to say "fuck the Empire."
Yeah.
Have we met?
I have friends everywhere.
Martyrs who gave everything on the brutal streets of
narrative.
Gormon.
Yeah.
Listen, that
In the Fox News version.
What are you doing? Who are you talking to?
She's the one.
She's the one. Ooh.
Hello. It specifically states that a senior senator may yield the floor freely, without interruption.
Oh, he found a way to get her to talk.
Yeah.
And yielding the floor to the senior senator from Chandrila.
Shut down the Senate feed.
Oh.
Imperial authority.
Nice.
I believe we are in crisis.
What are they doing? Why is it locked?
It's supposed to be.
It hasn't been locked all year.
We know, we fixed it.
Nice. They got people in there. Nice.
Yeah.
Of all the things at risk,
Following protocol.
the loss of an objective reality is
That Lobot girl.
Cut power to the whole chamber. Get her off the air.
this changes. Hold on the truth. What happened yesterday on Ghorman was unprovoked genocide. And that truth has been exiled from this chamber.
This is like too relevant right now.
I know!
Yeah.
The monster who will come for us all soon enough. Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, a little too late.
Get out of there.
Get out of there, Oh man, she went out with a bang, dude. And I was getting like chills, like Marma's speech.
They shut her down.
I have friends everywhere.
This is sick.
He's got a catchphrase now.
Detained immediately.
Oh
boy.
Oh, the press pool.
Yeah.
Jesus!
These faces everywhere now. Oh shit!
We're here to help you.
She doesn't need to. Let's move ahead.
No! Oh!
Down, everyone!
So.
Supervisor now. Back away!
This is
That
tense.
He's a rebel spy!
Nice.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Just gonna earn his stripes.
Yep.
Mon Mothma's exit from the Senate, dude. Is
Yeah.
so
You killed that woman.
suspenseful. Getting your hands dirty now, Mothma.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fight.
Welcome to the rebellion.
Yes. Yes.
Finally getting
Oh,
your
here we
hands
go.
dirty.
Oh,
That's the point of no return now.
damn.
This show's gonna be a really good binge in between the prequels and the and Rogue One.
All I want to do is see this Rebels episode again straight afterwards, where she makes the just made the jump out of there.
I feel like Star Wars logic would demand them putting on stormtrooper outfits and walking out the front door.
Where are they?
You have to get back to the
Man,
galaxy.
they've been driving
Put me
for
down here.
years.
I have to warn them.
I'll find them.
I feel like the whole show hasn't moved faster than it has in the last 3 episodes.
It's my driver.
Would we help?
No.
No.
His eyes be plugged.
We found her! And who are you?
Look at me! Hey,
Yeah, come on, Mom, you're in it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
It's like my driver for 5 years.
Yep.
Holy shit. Man, Andor.
Yep.
So badass.
Yep.
Don't most of those guns have a stun on them?
Yeah, but still.
Nah, it's like kind of... They're not
You saw
shooting-
Andor's face.
They're not shooting princesses.
Sure.
Colonel Yularen on line 3.
Yep, you're right. Yeah.
Nice. It's a vehicle.
Nice!
What's the point of roads if they could do that?
Who belongs to this?
I think that's mine.
Ah,
No, she.
Michi.
Nice, he made it.
Yeah,
I mean, we knew he was gonna, but.
makes sense. Nice.
Oh, the safe house.
Yep.
Dang.
Oh.
No. Trying to save the day.
There's a ship waiting. They want her to make a speech. They want her coming in with a yell.
Oh, there's a ship, Brent?
They want to rewrite the story.
Yeah, it's the speech that goes
There's a dead KX unit bugged up inside.
on.
KX droid?
It really does feel like he's included because he was in the movie and Tony Gilroy didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Not in like a mean
So,
spirit.
yeah, I'm not mad.
Yeah, I just think Tony Gilroy just like he doesn't fit into the show very well. It would change the
No, you're
it'd be
right,
like
man.
a buddy cop drama if or a sitcom almost if he was there.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they were pitching to him at first.
Yeah.
I know.
But there's no explanation as to why he just randomly decided to take a broken in half droid with him. I agree.
Because he thought it'd be useful is really the answer.
That's
But
I mean
I
that
guess.
that reads.
Yeah.
the real answer is because he was in Rogue One and he was kind of forced into that.
His Bix want to fight now. She's like, no, we can't leave.
You're sleeping now. You look so peaceful.
They're getting ready to power up the droid you brought in. The KX unit?
That's how they're going to end the episode.
It either works or it doesn't. We can tweak
Crazy.
everything once it's stable. I'm not sure that's safe. Hit the switch. Very well. That makes us ready. One.
Damn, sound design is nuts.
Yeah, the sound was great.
Hello. If I've offended you, I apologize.
Well, I've got a new best friend.
Yeah. With me, we're gonna go on some adventures.
Uh-huh.
Man,
Dude,
Bix just left.
Yeah.
That was
She
surprising.
sacrificed their relationship, so she knew how important he was, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to.
Didn't expect
You
that.
back, bro.
Did not expect that, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I'm kind of assuming unless she pops up next week, she survives all this. But she obviously doesn't survive to join the rebellion if that becomes the case.
Well, he doesn't get a chance to go back to her.
Right, correct, yeah. Well, maybe they will. I mean, maybe that'll happen next week. Who knows? Interesting. There were some things that worked and some things that didn't, quite hit the mark for me on this episode.
What didn't?
What didn't? I feel like just, I mean, as we were saying, although we took the KS2 droid, last episode, it was kind of like, it felt a little rushed there. I don't know with the Bix
Like he
thing
didn't
at the
have a
end
big plan for it.
Yeah, I agree with Max
I
on
threw it in there because it was kind of mandated and kind of
Yeah.
thrust upon him. But I don't think that was the kind of story he wanted to tell. And I think at this late in the game, it's mostly just to give him a little bit of an edge up against whatever he's up against in the last few episodes.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not really.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a big moment for Cassian Andor, like development for him of like, well, he has no one else, and now he has to rely on a droid because they don't have to rely on the same lifespan as a human.
Yeah,
I thought that would be the case in a way. Turns out it's not. Maybe it is a little bit with Bix, but not totally.
Yeah.
KS is gonna feel that Bix-shaped hole in his heart.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Bix's leaving at the end. I think that was kind of a little.
I think it's a little bit melodrama for the sake of melodrama.
Yeah, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with working.
Well, it's because Star Wars was always a different kind of melodrama. It was never the big relationships swing melodrama of they get back together and break up, and it just was never that kind of drama.
Yeah.
And it's not like it feels out of place in this show, but it does feel a little bit of a letdown in the last few episodes to have to go through this heartbreak in the last few minutes of an episode where we have now 3 episodes left.
Right, yeah. No, I wouldn't say a letdown as much as I'd say more kind of like, I wish that it was played out a little differently. And does that mean that, I don't know, I mean, you know,
I feel like it was the Force-sensitive lady who kind of like inspired her to be like, oh shit.
Yeah, well that's, you know, you're right.
Big.
Yeah.
And so like, ever since that moment, she was like, he needs to be here, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I'm not what he thinks home is. Like, this is not, I'm not where he belongs.
Yeah.
And so she kind of like, it's like a big sacrifice on her part. And she just, it was the only way that she could think of to make him stay and not take him.
She had to skedaddle so he could live.
Yeah, she had to bounce.
Yeah,
because like he's more important. She wouldn't be able to live with herself if he wasn't a part of this, because she knows how valuable he is.
Right.
To it.
Of course,
well,
he will ultimately buy it. You know, buy it in the end. And
if she was there, he also wouldn't do what he did in Rogue One. He wouldn't go on a suicide mission if he had someone he cared about. Right. This is kind of showing why he. It's not that he's just this big rebel hero. He's the guy with nothing left to lose. He's the guy who sacrificed everything for the rebellion and just ready to sacrifice one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think killing her off would make him too reckless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he still needs to kind of like, he still needs something to live for.
Yeah.
And by her leaving, like, gives him that, like, you know,
right.
I'm not on a
that
death,
vitality.
like,
he's not on the death march yet.
I want to get out of this.
Yeah.
And then, like, that little push will inspire him. It works with the themes of, like, every arc just galvanizes Andor a lot more.
Yeah.
For the cause.
You're right.
And he was, like, so close to being done with it. And I think that extra push was what he needed.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense, too. I do hope we see her again, but I don't think we're going to, which means it leaves her story open. Leaves her
That's
story
the thing.
open.
It's like his sister.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just open ended. They're not closing anything. You know, but like but they're so, you know, they're throwing like great story at us where it just keeps moving.
Right.
forward.
I mean, that's the thing that Ghorman does, though. He does leave these big open ended things, and the thing about Star Wars, whether you agree with it or not, Lucasfilm tend to leave open ended conversations or situations so that somebody else can pick up on that part of the story somewhere down the track. And I feel like we've got these really invested moments in Andor, especially in season 2, that they've left a certain amount of things so open-ended that they are a story all to themselves.
But the thing is that the thing I see it on here on Andor is like, what happens is like one motivation gets interrupted, but then all what happens is like there's something more important than that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so these little, like, this journey that he was on, finding his sister, ended up in something that's bigger than that. And you have no other option than to move on.
Yeah.
But then that's like, I like that realism of stuff, because like things don't get to be confirmed in your life ever, really. You just move on to the next big thing that's more important.
Right.
And so that's like the way all of this stuff happens, and the way like things move on is like, because that doesn't matter anymore. It's this now. You know?
Yeah. Max, obviously they didn't do any part of Mon Mothma's speech, which I kind of figured they weren't going to, but I thought we would have seen a more interesting kind of her getting off Coruscant. I guess it was not as complicated as, they made it out to be. Obviously, shipping lanes and trading routes and everything off Coruscant is still pretty open.
I think it's also, he probably is not that familiar with that part of the story. I think he was more sticking to other stuff.
They needed that beat. They needed to at least mention it.
Yeah, well, they mentioned Gold Leader. Erskine, of course, is the one who's in Rebels, who is the connector.
Yeah, so it connects. So you could watch that right after.
Oh, completely. Do you want to watch part of that? And it's up to you.
We watched it on the stream the other day.
Oh, you watched the thing? Yeah, I was just saying.
We watched it on my stream, but
yeah,
I know how it goes.
Right,
but that's cool. I mean, I thought that worked. They didn't have to show too much,
No, they didn't have to show too much at all.
Getting picked up by ghosts or whatever,
Yes, exactly.
It's already happened, so we don't. Need
no, that's the thing. That was the other thing too. I did like that they said, "Do you want to listen to her speech?" And he's like, "No, I heard enough to understand who she is." So it was like, okay, they're not going to give us the speech. Not even on a radio.
No, you don't need it because that'd be redundant because it's on the show already.
Yeah, but it would have been. But it would have been nice.
Now that's
a fan
right
service.
There. That's fan service.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah, because you don't want to you don't want to overpower the speech that she already gave.
But that's also the cool thing too. Is like literally at that moment you could now obviously jump to Star Wars Rebels and watch that moment and go, okay, this is the other side of that conversation, and we don't repeat ourselves in Star Wars, and that is one thing they have stuck to. They don't want to step on their own toes when they've got something already set up.
If something's already
something done,
already portrayed, you don't have to re-portray it
unless it's the books, and then they kind of rework it, kind of thing. This was a very interesting 3-part episode.
I haven't seen that much excitement in the Senate since Yoda fought Palpatine.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of stuff going on there in the Senate
that was pretty badass though. I like that. I really dug it.
Yeah. The getting out of the chambers was good. It was very tense. They kept it tense. Luthen survives, obviously. That was interesting. I wasn't expecting a kind of quiet moment without Luthen there. So
I got 3 more episodes left. So but they're out of Coruscant, right? Mothma was the most important piece of the puzzle.
She was, and from what I understand, But the other thing is that this next 3-part episode takes place within the days before Rogue One.
Yeah, it's going to be the Death Star then.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that Saw Gerrera is going to have
because it's been in the background the whole season too, and they barely mentioned it. And that was wasn't a post-credit scene last episode. That was the big thing.
Yeah, but we know that that's it, right? Do we need that though?
I just think they have to mention it in the next 3
They got to mention,
set up.
They know
one.
Yeah, I think they know there's they know there's some sort of weapon. Something that is out there. They just don't know what it is and the purpose of it and everything else. So,
all they know is it's a star that could bring death. They have no name for it yet, but they're working on something.
There you go. Absolutely.
They're close. They're days away.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I like that. They've seen how fast the Empire's moving on dissolving the Senate and all that stuff, and so it's kind of this race that they don't even know. So I guess we're gonna get that reveal when they find out what they're actually doing.
Right.
They start to piece together all the Ghorman stuff. And...
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Ghorman, Ghorman's behind the story. Done with the story at this point. It would be a year later.
But then you got Melshi who joined, who was in that prison building.
Yeah, he was Melshi.
With Andor. So
I don't know how many loose ends there are into next week. I mean, I feel like they're just going to be picking up to prior to the events of Rogue One, but I just don't even know what is, apart from the intensity of.
As long as it's as good as these last 3 episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'll be happy.
Yeah,
man. Rest in peace, Cyril. though, for
The
real.
Cyril bit arc was
still getting over that.
Yeah, that was a brutal takedown. That was
died at the massacre, at the massacre.
Yeah, and the fact that Andor just didn't even know who he really was,
and never will.
And never will. It's just it was just another person trying to take
he's
him
had
down.
so many adventures that Cyril just got lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Of like all his stuff that he's been doing.
Yeah.
He held him at gunpoint, and he haunted Cyril for years.
Yeah. And then of course there's Deidre who's out there too.
Sad too.
Yeah, Deidre's out there.
Tragic.
Yeah.
The tragedy of Cyril Karn.
There was a trailer. There's one more scene that is related to Deidre. I'm not going to say it because you've probably forgotten it from the trailer or from the clip. But there is one clip we've seen of Deidre in a situation.
Wait, she's choking?
No. There's another scene. There's another scene.
Remember what everyone thought there was like, oh, who's choking her? But she was just freaking out.
Yeah, I kind of guessed it was a panic attack. She was actually freaking out. No, there is another scene with Deidre in it that is, and again, I'm not going to say it because it'll kind of spark more questions and a situation that will occur. So there's definitely stuff. Yeah, she will be definitely in next week, from what I understand from that, at least that one scene that we haven't seen of her. And there'll be, I don't know.
It's crazy when they do these jumps because you don't get their initial reaction to the events that happen.
Yeah,
you just check in a year, and they're all kind of like this. The dust is settled from whatever that was.
Yeah,
and they're already moved on to other things. So we're gonna see like Deidre kind of just like already over Cyril.
Yeah, and I feel like again
on the terms with it, and then what kind of person she's gonna be when we see her again.
This series, or at least especially in season 2, is just really just moments in somebody's life, and it's you know what it is. It feels like the Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Underworld. It's just a moment in their life that takes place over a very short span of time. We don't get to see them grieve. We don't get to see them be excited. Yeah. We don't get to see these moments post and pre that moment in time, except for the fact that these characters...
Pivotal moments in the
story where these characters are, or we lose somebody, or somebody important. And obviously Gilroy is taking this to moments where we lose certain characters who are connected to Andor in some form or fashion. And it will obviously keep going into that way next week. And that's why I'm going to assume Luthen will die. But we don't know how.
Now that Bix is out of the picture, you know, like, it's like, oh, there's a good chance that she's safe. Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, who's going to be the next?
Well, you got Lonnie as well, who's the spy in the Imperial, in the ISB, and that is going to be a big situation that's going to go on. There's still a theory that we might see Galen Erso because of what's his name?
That's right.
Yeah, Nicholson. Mads Nicholson was at Celebration, so there's a lot of hype and theory that he might pop up somewhere in the story arc, which I think would be still kind of a fun story to tell. Is it necessary? We don't know.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's all the speculation, you know. That's all what the speculation for these shows is about. Like, who's relevant? Who are we going to see next? You know.
Yeah. Well, we still don't have the relevantness of, everything at this point. They're over. They've got Star Destroyers over New Jeddah dealing with taking kyber crystals. So that's the the Death Star laser power source and everything. We see them fit that in Rogue One. So we know that there'll be an occupation over Jeddah at that point in time, or at least a presence. I don't know if they're going to even go into that part of the story. I don't even know if they need to go to that part of the story because...
Yeah, because that's already in Rogue One.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So
enough of that on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big takeaways from this episode is that, like, Mon Mothma was able to tell people what really happened.
Yeah.
And start to just, like, build the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
Recruit.
And 2 years from now, that entire Senate will be dissolved by Palpatine.
Yep. And I bet just quoting what they're talking about in the Death Star.
Exactly. Yes, but it is a fact. It's like, this is how close that the Emperor is now to just being full power and saying, "Screw you guys, I'm taking over."
I think you mean absolute power.
Absolute power.
No, ultimate power. What is
Ultimate
it?
power.
Unlimited.
Unlimited power.
Unlimited
Jesus
power.
Christ, it's too late.
Yeah, but you know, but still, that you know that space station is nothing compared to the power of the Force. But then again, the Force hasn't allowed Vader clear
shut up. Yes,
anyway.
yes.
So definitely this like religious.
Oops. Unlimited
Release
power.
him.
Unlimited power.
Tarkin just said, "Release him."
You have to do, I can't. I'm frozen. You have to do it with both hands up.
Oh yes, of course. Anyway, guys, I think we'll end it here. If you enjoyed our reaction to these episodes, please like and subscribe. We are excited to see the last 3 parts next week. So join us then. And of course, we lost Elijah along the way. His internet went down.
We lost
Anyway,
him to the Gormans.
We lost him to the Gormans.
Lost him in the Gorman massacre.
That was the one. Yeah, he didn't make it out of Coruscant alive. All right, guys. We'll catch you all later.